Welcome to Daytona International Speedway here tonight for the Racers Elite. 28 drivers are in the race for a 100 lap race. If I can figure out what my buttons do, I'm having a stroke over here trying to pull up something. I'm going to pull up the qualifying, no, not that one. The qualifying grid here. So first is Corey Wright, second Sean Burt, third Frank Chavez, fourth Truth Hoke, fifth Pete Pinelli, sixth Terry Fannell, seventh Haas Beverly, eighth Christopher Allen, ninth Devan David, 10th Nathan Emerson, 11th Eric Howard, 12th Troy Thomas, 13th Daniel Jackson, 14th Jake Baker, 15th Timothy Yisburn, 16th Chris Lawrence, 17th Chris Goxel, 18th Mark Beverly, 19th, Andrew Taft. 20th, Aaron Marquis. 21st, Andrew Schroeder. 22nd, Brandon Carguzian. 23rd, Kyle Murray. 24th, Aaron Roth. 25th, Steve Castle. 26th, Trevor Fettig. 27th, Jake Hannon. 28th is Jack Kelly. Drivers have already pulled off the pit road, so you may hear their vehicles already pulling off right now. I'm going to open up my trading paint so I can load in all their paint schemes also. As I will do that now, as it has gone to a pretty dark track here, so I might need to adjust some of my brightness settings here in a minute. So let me do that now. It's definitely gotten a lot dimmer. So again, I'm going to see if I can mess with my brightness. I don't want it, that is really finicky. If I turn my brightness up like that, it looks kind of crappy. So there we go. It's getting a lot better. As it is a little bit not overcast. It looks like it's overcast in 3 and 4. Yeah, that'll work for me right there. That looks fine for a little bit of adjusted color grading. As somebody's already blown up, maybe? As Pace Truck does pull in. Starter will have the flag in his hand as the green flag is in the air. We are underway here. As we've already got somebody through the grass, and that's going to be a caution here as he works back up on the track. That was Jack Kelly. Arguzian will spin. Sorry, that was not Jack Kelly. It flagged it as Jack Kelly. Who was that, though? Someone up here. Harry Fannell. Who gets turned? Oh, yeah, he can't control that. He's already got that's right back up in the path of everybody else. Not going to put that on him, though. He had no control after that car goes through the grass. You are at the will of basically everything else. You're just sliding. You're going to be sliding at a high rate of speed. We'll bring out a very, very quick caution. Not even a lap into the race. 100 laps here, 100% fuel. They do not have a fast repair, so those guys that are out or that got in the wreck that have way too much damage are done for the night. And way too aggressive on lap 1 for these guys, though. We will have some people come in. Teft comes in, but he's just getting his damage fixed. See if I can get a little bit less grainy of a picture here. I think I have one setting turned up just a little too far, and I think I know which one it might be. Maybe my brightness that I have turned up just a little bit too much. Yeah, they'll leave it there at that, but it's definitely a lot better than it is on my screen. On my screen, it's pretty dark. Lights should go off on the pace truck at this time by, though. As it will. That'll put Burke and Hoke on the front row again. And to see how aggressive these guys will be. That was just somebody not letting somebody in early on in the race. I think that, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. I would just let him in. I didn't think it was needed. That wreck did take out at least 3 drivers: Roth, Hannon, and Fannel. All were taken out by that wreck. Their race is over. Pace truck is getting ready to pull in. As it will now, as Burke will lead them back to green, and green flag is in the air. We are back underway here. Truth Hoke up here is becoming kind of a familiar name up front with the Racers Elite. He's getting a shove from Emerson, who is stamped wrong in this race, so he's showing up as the one truck when he is the one truck, but it's a little bit different. That 111 of Allen's getting a good shove to that 93. So get Burke out to the lead, but Hoke should be coming back with the run on the outside here, possibly. He's bobbing, weaving around. That's going to end up with a wreck in a minute. At 111, with him moving around as much as he is, that's going to open up the door, and somebody's going to try to step in and get their toes stepped on here, possibly. Again, with them going 100 laps on fuel, or 100 laps, I think that they'll probably pit at lap 40 possibly, and we'll see pits lap 40, 80, and to the end they're going to probably mix it up though, just a tad on their fuel. When I say just a tad, I mean just a little bit. They're probably going to run it dry as much as they can. They're probably going to get a you could go the shortest amount, but with where they are right now, you're going to try to pit all together in one big group. That 93 is just glued to the bumper of that 111. So he's got his bumper glued to the front end of that 111. The 111 is going to kind of fall off just a little bit. He is not holding a very straight line, though, at all. I would not want to be near Allen. So, and I only say that just because he's moving up and down a lot. But just, I would not feel comfortable around him. Guys are reminding their P's and Q's now with how they're running. You can go 3 wide at Daytona. It's a little bit harder than at Dega. Dega is a little bit wider, but I don't think we're going to see 3 wide here, especially with it being early on. You're only 10% of the way done with the race. You don't really benefit from shooting it 3 wide. You gotta be careful there. Truth almost opened up the outside for who I want to see. I think that's Nathan Emerson. I think that's who it is on the outside of him. If you're one of these guys mid-pack, that's actually one of the harder places to run. I only say that because you're not relying on other people around you, but you're definitely kind of jockeying for position, because if something happens, you're pretty much on your own. But you see Haas Beverly, he's going to jump to the outside there. He's going to slow that whole line down. He's going to drag everyone back with that move. He's really dragging back that 10 over. He didn't gain a position from that. He's going to lose a lot because of it as they jump to the bottom here on the front. The one is gotten by the 93, though. As Hope will kind of fall back here to at least the 6th position, possibly the 8th. Unless he can get that high line going again. He's going to keep dropping here, too. He's going to try to work that outside again to get back up here. I don't think it's going to work for him, though. Emerson's just going to stick to the bottom. Hoke is doing it a little bit, though. So he can make it himself, though. He doesn't have any help from behind. That high line only has 5 vehicles in it. They're making a run up here, though, however. Hope will get up to at least 3rd here, possibly. That 10 can come with help. He's not going to be getting help, though. is going to end up wrecking here. He is going to wreck the whole field. Keep an eye on Allen. Everybody's bobbling on the bottom. Everybody is. Is going to cause a wreck here in a minute. As Hope needs to get around him. However, will they go with Hope's the question. Hope's going to be hung out there alone, but not necessarily at the same time. He's going to have to duck back in line, though. He just can't get a run. It's going to pull back this whole outside line. Max, you get a good shove from Oak, and he might go to the lead possibly if that bottom line has gotten a lot more formed up. Right, yeah, bottom line is a lot more formed up. Oak's got no help from behind, literally none until that 16 gets to him. That's if the 16 gets to him. And these guys are driving a little bit differently because of that the no faster pair. Can't go in there just guns a-blazing it pretty much. That top line's gotten formed up now. Hope is going to have help from behind. So they might be able to start mounting a challenge here. 111 is going to fade high, though. Who will be the one that triggers the big one here is the big question. We've already had a wreck lap one. They've done pretty good from that point on. This top line's going to stack up mid. They're going to stack up mid corner. They'll get a good run off, though, is where they'll gain a lot of time. Is actually going to get clear to the lead here from Oak, but going to lose that mid corner again. It's because Emerson's going to become with such a massive run. They're 20 laps into the race here, so 20% done with the race, and one caution so far. Excuse me. Still just going to hang tight on that outside, though. Again, I don't think we're going to see pit stops for another 10-ish, or probably about 20-ish laps. But when we do, we'll see everybody hop down to the bottom. And then they'll all try to get down there to fill the holes. They can so you can pit pretty safely with each other. Top line stacking up, though. Tough to see him. He'll jump down in the bottom if he's going to abandon that line. Doesn't really like what he's seeing, so he just wants to get down and out of the way. I'd probably be riding with everybody else too. I just feel like that's a little bit safer, but off. Safer of an option, and also save a little bit more fuel because that you got more guys in line, so you're running a little bit more of a crack throttle going around the track. This one and the 111 will be off on fuel because they've been leading that bottom line the whole entire time, so gotta keep that in mind. bottom right top line keeps getting massive runs on straight stretches, but in the corners they just lose so much. And there's a lot of bobbing and weaving too. It's not just the top line; that bottom line's doing it pretty bad also. That's just going to hurt them when they try to get a run anywhere. They're not going to be able to just because of the weaving that they're having to deal with. That 111 still going to be up there. Truth hope, though, I can't speak apparently, having a stroke over here. A little bit of a side draft there from Allen, but not too not too much of an aggressive side draft there, but he definitely did give him a little bit of a side draft just to pull him back. Trying to grab him, take him back to him. We're right on board here with kind of one of these mid-pack drivers, so you can kind of hear how much they're having to work the throttle if they don't wreck here in a minute. We'll do that the next lap around. I want you to kind of hear how they're having to modulate the throttle. They're probably not full on out. Is that English? Yeah, close enough. But you'll hear them lift and do some other things, kind of just feather the throttle, just so they don't run into the back of somebody. And some of them will use a little bit of brake, but most of them will just use throttle. They'll just kind of crack out of it, and then they'll go full throttle again. So we'll do that now, so we'll go with gyro cam. Oh, we got a wreck. There they go. I was waiting for that to happen. That's going to take out a lot of drivers there as they're still wrecking. See who did it. Both of them. The 117's up the track, and the 111 comes down across his nose. And it is on from there. The 111 about flips, comes back up into the path of Andrew Teft. The 29 gets slammed into the wall also. Teft gets tagged again. So really, 3 trucks were involved. Yeah, 3 trucks involved in that wreck as they all come to a sliding stop. That will send a majority of people down pit road. Keep them all on cycle with each other. Everybody will come down now. Burke will pull in. He'll get 4 tires and fuel. 27 slides through his box, but he's not going to be too hurt from that. Again, it's under caution, so he doesn't really have that much to worry about. And it's at a super speedway pit, so it's not like he's going to lose tons of positions. He can't gain back with the snap of a finger, pretty much. Emerson's off and away, though. He'll win the race off pit road. We're going to have... Yes. We're going to have some guys sitting in their pit stalls trying to get as much damage fixed as possible. I don't think Teft is done. Don't think... Yisbrand's already got some damage. No, not Yisbrand. Somebody else. That's who it is. Donovan and Dave is going to get some damage fixed. That is 1, 2, 3. We got a lot of guys out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 drivers. 5 drivers appear to be out of the race. One of them is sitting in the pit box, so it's not registering them out of the race yet. But before these guys go back green, I will go on mute here to rest my voice just a little bit. Yes, pace truck will pull in here. 33 laps of 100 done. As the green flag is back in the air, we are back underway here. See people hop down to the bottom line pretty quickly. Ugh, excuse me. People hop down to that bottom decently quickly. So we'll see most of them. We got 1, 2, 3. That bottom line's pretty formed up. That bottom line being as formed up as it is, I think that we're going to see. The top line's getting formed up. You would think that the most numbers would be the best, but surprisingly, having a little bit of a smaller number than other lines is actually better. We got guys that can maybe hold it just a little bit better than other people can. That's just how it is every now and then. Oh, we got the 16, and he's going to get turned, as that is going to take out at least 5 drivers down the backstretch. The 14 tries to climb another truck. The 78 just saw his life flash before his eyes. But that is going to take out a lot of good drivers here tonight. It was the 16. Chris Lawrence is where it started. As those two just kind of meet in the same spot, and then it's on from there. You can watch and see how fast they stack up. 16 tries to flip over. That truck sets back down. The 41 is involved in it. The 98, the 1. And Andrew Taft has just got some damage fixed, as the 1 is still going to spin to the inside. That 14 goes for a ride, that's for sure. 41's locking it down. I think Troy made it through. As, yes, he did. That is definitely a night ender for some of these guys. I think the 14's done. Looking at his right front tire, it's kind of wobbling around. See who will come down pit road now that it's open. I think we'll see most people come back down. Some people will, some won't. I'd come back down just to get topped off on fuel. That's just how I would take this race. That's a suggestion. So that'll leave 9 drivers stayed out. Guys that came down, this is just fuel top off. 29 can get some more damage fixed. 16's going to have some damage. Teft is surprisingly still going to be in the race. Marcus is still in. The 78 looks like he's still going to be in. Jackson, I think that truck may be done here. Yeah, that truck is pretty destroyed. He's actually hopped out of it. You can see him not sitting in it anymore. He's probably either looking at the wreck, or he's just checking the damage of it, or he's realized that it's too much damage and he's just going to kind of leave it at that. Yeah, I don't know how that 78's still driving. Let's just leave it at that. But I will be right back because I will go try to get something to drink before these guys go back green here. The lights are off as the pace car is getting ready to pull in here. As it will be Burke and Wright leading them back. As the green flag is in the air, we are back underway here. These guys will kind of sort it out, go towards the bottom. See how long they'll stay like this. They've actually gotten halfway in this race. Andrew Tepp just somehow made that truck look like it's got no damage on it. I have no idea how. He's been in 2 wrecks now. None of his fault, though. You keep that in mind. Jack Kelly will go to the lead here. For just a second, and he'll lose that back to Burke. Castle's called it a night here. That is up to 20th place is out so far. No, sorry, Castle has it. 21st. Castle's all, but he's all alone. He's gonna need a caution to get a lot of that damage fixed. He has no right or left front fender on that truck, so it's going to be dragging incredibly hard because of that. Everybody pretty much staying in that high to bottom lane. I would get nervous here. Do not want anybody getting close to my inside just because of net code. Net code is known to be pretty unreliable, as that 117 of Baker's going to chase them both up the track. He's got to be careful here, or I just dropped that again. Or he may tag them both. I've managed to drop a bottle of water from my desk. That top line is kind of falling back a little bit. You need to see how aggressive these guys will want to be with each other. Some will shove harder than others. Others will just kind of lay off. Really depends on how their car is handling and how much experience they have on super speedways. On their driving style more than anything else. Sean Burke, he's just going to try to stay in that bottom line. He hasn't moved out of that bottom line pretty much the whole entire race. Qualified second, as Kelly's actually the biggest mover. He is up 25 positions currently in second at the moment. Second, third, close enough with those two. They're going to be swapping positions so often. That 24 is getting a little bit loose off the bumper, that 27. You gotta watch that. See if that means an ill-handling truck or if he's just kind of loose overall. I'll have to find that out here soon. They are getting close to halfway in this race. They're at lap 47. Pits should happen round lap 85-ish, possibly. And they'll go to the end. That'll be a quick gas and go, though. Do not expect a lot of them to have to take a lot of fuel because of it. see. We'll actually do. Let's do 2. No, let's wait to do that. Actually, kind of switching it up here mid-pack, so they might do something big here in a moment. That 24 is trying to side draft. He's yanked that car away, though. That was an aggressive move. Kind of surprised he made that move, to be honest with you. Still going to hold that bottom. He's not really going to move off that line. I think he's made that pretty apparent. He wants the bottom, and he's not going to give it up. This high line, they get runs every now and then they kind of just stall out. I don't know if it's just guys are not getting lined up correctly and giving shoves or what. Is still at the high line. He's got help from Corey right behind him, but Corey doesn't have help from Frank Chavez behind. That's going to be one of the issues. He's got no pusher to help him get up there. All just being pretty calm and collected with each other for the most part. At 29, he's actually got most of his damage fixed, but he's just he just doesn't have anybody else behind him. These guys have actually gotten halfway in the race at this point. I just now realized that. At lap 51 now, is at 27's now got to the bumper of Kelly finally. Will they go down to the bottom? They will. Corey wanted to go with them, but he did not have room to do that at all. If he did, he was going to get himself wrecked there. Had to pull back up at the last moment. Good move from him, realizing that spotter called him not clear. Some guys, they'll just try to force themselves clear, and it just doesn't work. He will actually hop to the top. He'll go up to the high line with right at the moment. So let's see what he does. And so he'll actually bring right with him now. And goes in front of Kelly, so he just swaps spots pretty much. A little bit of a scatter there from that high line. Somebody may have gotten stabbed. Alternate athletes are trying to force each other to the bottom. You see how that 24 is falling back. Now everybody's hot to the bottom. Maybe... I don't know. Let's see what he does. Everybody's going to the bottom. You're not going to... Well, maybe you can pit. As we have a caution here. As that's a truck in the back that's around. That is the 47. Didn't see him get turned around to like the very end. That's kind of towards the semi back of the pack here. A little bit confused, but we got a caution to come out. As just runs up on a lap truck and okay, it's kind of it's not that lap truck's fault. That's odd to see. That will give us this stop. This might get him to the end, possibly. I think this will get them. I think it will. Yeah, this might get them to the end of their pit stops. See, these guys are gonna have to come down and take 4 tires and fuel. See, everybody comes down except Marcus. So Marcus came down. Actually, 2 people. Troy and Aaron both stay out. I thought it was just one of them. That'll put these guys that came down close on their pit stops. I don't know how close, though, exactly. That's the whole issue. I want to say they'll be right on the money. Same time, I don't think that's correct either, though. I know Troy and Aaron will be way off. They're not going to be able to make it 70 laps on fuel, but I'll go on mute here before these guys go green. I believe the lights should go off on the pace truck, and they will. So I'll be back here shortly. The pace truck will pull in, and the green flag is in the air. We are back underway here, coming to 40 laps left in the Racers Elite at Daytona. I already hear some of them working the throttle, trying to stay off the rear bumper of the car in front of them. Don't want to give them too hard of a hit up there. Corey Wright has hopped up to that high line. He's got Truth Hoke behind him, trying to give him a shove to get him around. Hoke's not going to be able to do too much, though, with that 27 in front. Trying to give him a good enough of a shove. Troy will hold that bottom line. He's getting a shove from Marcus right now at the moment. How aggressive will he be with the shoves? It's a question mark. I don't think he'll be too aggressive. I think that they can make it. I'm not completely sure. The guys that pitted, I think they can. If they do, it's going to be close. They're going to be running half throttle for a lot of this run, trying to extend that fuel. But they're going to be right there at it. And I mean right there at it. I don't know. I really don't know. How close will they be? 31, 41, 17, 98. They pit on lap 55. Went back green at 57. So if they go 40, they're going to be 3 laps short. But that's if they run it up front. If they run mid-pack, they can maybe slow that pace down a little bit. Actually, to be able to stretch their fuel to get them to the end of it. Is getting a good run up there. I don't think he's got anything that he can really do with it, though. I know that Troy and Aaron are both going to be the odd ones out. See. Can they stretch this fuel? I want to listen to their pedal here. Lift, a little bit of a lift. Now you could maybe run half throttle and get away with it. Just if you're mid-pack. Just because of the draft and how much of a factor it is, it'll literally pull you with it if it has a chance. One advantage of them being too wide in a row. He's actually going to get the lead here from Hoke. Actually, he's going to get the lead here from Troy. Hoke will try to give him a shove by it. 27's thinking about going down to the bottom. Hoke is actually going to decide to stay in that. He's having been really indecisive here. What's he going to do? He's going to stay in that line. I'm going to say he kept. I don't really know what he wanted to do there. So he's going to actually go right back to having to defend again. Because he doesn't get down to the bottom in time. He's going to have to go up to that high line, and he'll lose the lead now. Straight back to defending like he was before. Hoke was one of these guys that pitted, so just keep that in mind. He's going to be a little bit better on fuel now. Truth, Corey, both going to be running that bottom. Right. Truth's going to be running that bottom. Corey's going to be running that high line. He's got the 93 of Burke behind him. Have a caution here. This is towards the back. I was going to say, that's the second time we saw a wreck towards the back of the pack. I think that was out of frame, so that's why I didn't say anything. So this is with stack up in the high line. The 92 will get into the 24. Put the 24 into the wall. And 92 gets him again. Ooh, that's a hard hit for him. That's probably going to end his night. So that is what these guys that stayed out were looking for. I think that will drag everybody else down. They should be able to make it now with this last pit stop. Let's see who this will drag down with them. If it drags anybody down with them, that is. Hoke's going to come down. No, they're not going to stay out. I was going to say everybody's probably going to come down here. David will stay out. I would think he's got... Is that left? No, yeah, it is left front damage. I think he might want to come down and get that fixed. That's just what I would do. I just feel like I just want as much damage fixed as possible for me. So that should get everybody to the end now. Should is the key word. I don't know if it will. So they'll be going really 28 laps on fuel, true mileage. I think they'll be right there, maybe one overtime. If you're leading, you're going to be a little bit off on your fuel, but you should be pretty dang close on it. Should be pretty close. Lights should go off on the pace truck this time by, and it will. That 24 will just barely beat these guys off pit road. You'll need to get going before you to catch the tail end of the lead lap. And 92, who's involved in that last wreck, he's still sitting on pit road. We only got 1, 2. So we got 2, 4. I can't. These guys aren't lined up right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 guys on the lead lap, making it 16. I think David still has, or Jack still has some speed. I think he's still gonna be able to catch up to these guys and be competitive. I think. Keyword is think. That's something that's lost in today's world. Pace truck will pull in. Hoke and Corey Wright will lead them back to green as the green flag is back in the air. We are back underway here. The 93's actually decided to tuck in and push Hope there. I'm surprised he decided to do that. He left that 27 out. He kind of see he thought there for a little bit about going up in that high line, then he decided against it last second. But he definitely thought about it. how aggressive he wants to be here. I don't think we'll see too much of an aggressive move until possibly 15 to go, 10 to go. I think really around 10 to go is what it should be. Goes. See who's gonna hop out of that high line in a minute. Somebody's gonna do it. You've got somebody new who's hopped up in that high line. That looks like that is Schroeder, 48, the New York Yankees paint scheme. Want to get all that going up there. He's going to stay on that bottom line. I don't think we'll see too hard of side drafts early on, at least. How aggressive will they be, though? It's always how aggressive, and it's really mainly shove-wise. You don't want to be hooked up to that guy's bumper for too long because you can blow that car up pretty easily if you're not careful. I've saw people do it. They get close, and then boom, out of nowhere, they just explodes on them. That's just something that you just do not want to have to deal with if you're one of these guys. It's kind of one of the more annoying things. You're like, well, this sucks. See that fit that 93. I don't know if he's not doing that on purpose, but he's definitely moving around. He's got to be careful with that, because if he's not, he's gonna spin Hoke, or he's gonna get himself spun. One of the two. He's gonna get down right on the door of that 93. I mean, right on the door. As it is 24 to go in the race, so I gotta keep these guys in line with each other still. Go a little bit nuts now. That 48, he's gonna get into the side of the 93. So Schroeder into the side of Burke. Schroeder, I don't know, he wasn't getting a hard shove. Maybe he's just really loose off the exit of these corners. It is a possibility that these guys can get themselves wrecked coming off the corners. It's not likely, but it can happen. At Highline is going to try to mount a little bit of a run. This Highline the whole race has not been going well, though. They've been falling flat everything that they can. They get good runs down the straight, but in the corners they just get absolutely killed on them. They just do not do good at all. Truth is still going to maintain this lead, though. .55, that 93 just staying tucked in on that bottom line. On board here with the 93 of Burke, so you can kind of hear what it sounds like with him, and kind of we'll go cockpit view so you can actually see his hands. Watch how he's kind of following the line of Hoke in front of him, so he can stay pretty glued to him. We'll do it for 2 laps as he's almost going to get himself wrecked. Kind of see that he's actually holding a relatively steady line. There's not a lot of movement. He is kind of chasing the rear end, but he's not chasing it too badly to an extent that he's moving, up and down the track like a crap ton. But he's definitely doing what he needs to. Other guys, you kind of see the 76s, the 41 will get shucked out there. Will merge back up onto the track. See how he gets going here now. I'll come off of 4 here. They'll get 17 to go. That 93 gonna do a pretty good job of staying to the inside. He's got that 48 with him there. That 48's gonna get that. He's gonna get a shove by, so Schroeder will get a shove by from Howard now. How long can they keep? You see, that's what happens. They keep losing it in the corner. They do good down the straights from the corner. They are getting absolutely killed on that outside line. I just don't know what's going on with them. coming up on a lap truck here. They should be fine. Just make sure, though, they don't... Yeah, that lap truck almost got a wreck happen. That was not going to be his fault. If it was, though, he stayed a high out of the way. Those guys almost came by and absolutely cleaned him out, though. So that I would not have put that on him, however. Just now realized I had my compressor off on my game sound. That was probably blowing out me on some of those. So that's my fault there. I've now got my compressor turned back on. I don't know why I didn't have that on at that point. But it is 15 to go now. These guys will be coming to the start-finish line with 14 to go. Intensity's going to keep getting ramped up. Truth Hoax still just staying on that bottom line. Schroeder keeps getting these massive runs, but they just die mid-corner. He gets them out of 4. He's... How is this going to work for these guys? That 71 is in the wall back there now. See, they're swapping paint back here now a little bit towards the back of the pack on them, so not really paying that much attention to them, looking at these guys up front more than anything else. See how aggressive these guys will want to be now. This high line's not getting formed up. That Highline's still in a massive run here. Yes, he's going to get the lead here, but he's going to probably lose it in the corner like he did earlier. Yeah, he is going to lose it again. Let's see this Highline that we'll get. Let's see that bottom line. I don't know what they're going to do. They're getting... that high line is just not forming up again. That bottom line has really got all of it. We're going to see somebody probably duck out from this bottom line. They're going to get a massive run and then shoot to the outside, side draft, and get away from him most likely. They're going to get turned, and there's going to be a wreck. Through the trial, will we stay green? And there comes the caution out. Waiting for that. Somebody just blew up. That's the 12 who just exploded. Hello. So, that's... Hold on here. That's a weird... Did he hook somebody or did he get hooked? 27 of Corey Wright. That's not the 27, it's the 47. Here he is. So, he just gets clipped by the 16 there, and then it sends him up into Howard. And I don't think, yeah, the wreck goes on for a long time. Wow, oh my gosh, that 76 almost flipped. Then, how did somebody end up... That's who it was, the 12. How did he end up with as much damage as that? So, caution's out at this point, and the 16 gets another one there. Bam! Down to the inside. Smokes it. We're going to go on board with the 76. I want you all to see how that truck tries to take off, and it sits right back down on the ground. Go cockpit view. And that goes on its side completely. He actually probably gets away with some of the least damage. But just look at this truck. It tries to flip. I mean, look at that. It tries to go up on its side. Gosh, I mean, that is literally... Oh my gosh, that is completely on its side. Yeah, I'd actually rather take that more than anything else damage-wise. So that will not bring anybody down pit road with 9 to go. They should have enough fuel to the end. See, yeah, nobody come down pit road at the moment. Wright's down pit road. He is. Carguzian. He's most likely done. The 7-Eleven should be fine. I know that 76 probably saw his life flash before his eyes because that truck was on its side completely. That thing was got. I still don't know how that truck not flipped. So we'll go on mute here before these guys go back green. But it will be with 6 laps to go, so it'll be an interesting finish here. See, Pace Truck is getting ready to pull in here. As Pace Truck does pull off, it will be 6 laps left. Don't know if this will be the last caution as the green flag is back in the air. We are back underway here. .117, the 98, the 48 all get going here in that bottom line. The 24 who left a little bit of, or he led a little bit of the race. He's worked his way back up here now. So 5 to go now. We'll go from this third camera view so you can see a lot of this race. Andrew Teft has made his way back up here. He's been involved in some of those wrecks. Schroeder is now inside of Truth Hoke. I don't know how in the world iRacing's not calling that as a wreck, because that's a huge run from that outside line. Look at that. That bottom line is stacking up. Schroeder's, oh, there's a wreck, and the 16 almost over. Stay green, though. This will bring out a caution here. Oh, no. Stay green. No caution yet. As we're going to stay green for that. That's surprising. But that looks like that was a stack of costs from the inside. Schroeder, I don't know how in the world it kept... someone was lagging there because he was inside of Hoke and it wasn't giving Hoke a shove. So something was going on there between those two. See how these guys will race up here in this high line. Can they mount a run? We saw the whole race. The high line has not been able to do much with each other. They just kind of get stalled out at that certain point. Andrew Teft, however, he's trying to make a run back up here. He wants to try to win this race. Go 2 to go as they come off of 4. They're kind of deadlocked. High line and low line. No line has the advantage here. This 93's got it way out. Hold on. This might just blow up. Oh, the 27. Hold on. Did Wright just blow up? Yes, I think he just blew. I think Wright just blew up in front of the whole field. I was going to say, he pitted on lap 92. There's no way he's out of fuel. I think he just shoved too hard, and it finally blew up. He got too aggressive. We will come to the white flag here, as there is one more lap around. Baker has the lead. Teft goes to the outside, now back to the inside. Hope will try to get the lead now. He's got Beverly coming in the high line. Marcus is coming behind Beverly with the shove. Here comes the 117 of Baker with a big run. He's going to go down to the inside. Got scraping the wall. As Hope will go to the lead here for a second. When does Beverly make his move is the question. Beverly, he's going to have a shove from Marcus. When is he going to time this run? Will it be out of 4? Will it be coming to the tribal? Will this 117 be able to mount the run? He's getting a good shove here from Teft. Teft is going to give him a run through 3 and 4. That's going to get the 117 a big run. I think Teft saved his temps for this last push. The 117 of Baker coming through the tri-oval. He will get a shove from Andrew Teft and come home with the win. Cincinnati, Ohio driver will steal it here. Teft second, Hoke third for your podium finishers. Watch him do his burnout here. Pull up the race results here. Go to the top of the board. We'll bring in the top 3 drivers. Start with Truth Hope. I think he just hopped in one of the waiting rooms. He did, so let's bring in Truth Hope, the 3rd place driver. Hey, Truth, this is Bryce in the booth. Got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, so you fall a little bit short tonight, but you still had a good run. You qualified 4th, and you finished 3rd. But, how did the race go for you overall, though? Because you were competitive the whole entire night, pretty much.
Yeah, I think I just got in the right lane, the right line at the right time, and tried to maintain.
So
And but it
how
was a good race.
Yeah, so how did, kind of, not the last caution, the caution before that, how did that kind of change the fuel strategy for a lot of people? And how many laps could y'all get out of a full tank? Because I wasn't completely sure.
About 35 and a half, I think. It was like 35 and a half. I had fuel, I had it, but I didn't know if it was how many green, white checkers we might use. So I just, that's why I rode the apron, because I still had like 13 laps, but it's like 9 laps. When we went to green, I think I had like 12 laps on the last caution. So it was a good race. Can't
Yeah,
wait to watch it back.
I was gonna say I was looking at that and I was like, I was guessing. I said 40, so I was close. I know if you're writing the draft, you're close to 40 on that one. But how was the racing from your point of view? Because it wasn't a wreck fest to say. I mean, it wasn't a wreck fest overall, but it definitely seems like there's a lot of good runs tonight. So how was the racing from your point of view?
The racing was great tonight. There's a lot of respect out there. It wasn't like it was the last couple of weeks. Just made a hole that wasn't there, and but they showed a lot. Everybody showed a lot of respect for a
Y- You
really
know,
good
s-
race.
So what was going through your head? That last 2 laps there, knowing that you had a shot for the win because it got hectic there towards the end. Somebody blew up, and then you got a massive run. And everybody else was just trying to find their way in somewhere.
Well, I was going to pull out on the right there coming to the white, and when Andrew did, I pulled out. I had such a massive run that I felt that if I bumped him, that it was going to spin him because I had such a run, and that's why I went to the outside. And I thought, well, I'm here. Let's just see what happens. I got a third. That's all right. That's good. Top 5. I got interviewed by you, so
Yeah, it seems like every single race you're competing for the win or you're about to win. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out? May have been watching the stream here tonight.
I'd like to thank my wife for supporting me in this, Andrew for putting it on, Racers Elite, the Misfits, my team with Troy and Aaron, Hoss tonight. Jesse wasn't here, but and Alan, and then you guys for broadcasting.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go, but good job coming home third tonight, man.
Thank Thank you very much.
That was Truth Hope, the third place driver. We'll bring in the second place driver and Andrew Teft. Hey, Andrew, this is Bryson Booth. Got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
And so you fall just a little bit short. You're involved. Well, I say involved. You were caught up in two wrecks that were none of your doing, but you still come home second. How did the race go for you overall, though? Because it seemed like even being caught up in that, you somehow managed to find a way to finish up front.
Yeah, I started in the back thinking I'd probably just hang out for a little while. Usually have a couple quick yellows at the start of these, and it just so happened I got involved in them. I was kind of surprised I could carry on with the second one. I got spun around pretty good, but I think I had about a minute and a half worth of repairs, and I couldn't really tell what the truck looked like from inside the car. So I just tried to stay tucked in behind somebody most of the race because I was afraid if I pulled out, I would just parachute. If I had any kind of fender damage or whatever, my spotter told me that they couldn't fix everything. So tried to make a move there at the end, but kind of got caught in the middle, and I don't think the truck was capable of leading very well in the state it was in, but gave it heck of an effort, and congrats to Jake there. I was glad I can help him out.
So
I kind of bailed on him and then kind of reconnected there at the end.
So how was the racing? Hold on, I got my headset caught on something. How was the racing from your point of view? Because it seemed like we had a lot of good green flag runs, and then when there were wrecks, it did catch a decent amount of people, but it seemed like there were a lot of green flag runs tonight.
Yeah, without the fast repair, you really have to race with your head a lot more. I was kind of surprised a little early on that we had those wrecks. I figured people would be a little more scared not having that security blanket to fall back on with the fast repair. But we had a couple good 20-something lap runs and a lot of side by side, tight side drafting. It was a little bit hard for the top two, pull out ahead of the bottom. Probably mostly just overheating, but can't complain.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, thank you to you for putting on the show. I want to ask people to subscribe to our channel. It's free. Just go to our Racers Elite Network homepage, and you'll find a subscribe button there. You can also subscribe to. I can't talk. Subscribe to notifications so it informs you when our shows are turning on too. It's kind of helpful. I want to thank our servicemen and women, my team, my friends, family, everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race, and looking forward to the next one of these. Actually, we've got a Coke 600 on Sunday too. That'll be a fun one to tune into. Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and I think
racing 600 miles at Charlotte.
I think last year, I'm pretty sure I ran in that. I'm pretty sure because I know you hosted on my birthday. This year, it's the day before my birthday. I would run in it, but I'll be at work. But that'll definitely be something interesting. Sitting and driving for 600 miles. At least when I ran it, it was not boring, but I definitely got my back drenched in sweat and everything. So it'll be interesting to watch. And that'll be over on SRM. So that'll be cool to see. But I will let you go. Good job coming home second tonight, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was Andrew Teff, the league owner. I will pull in the race winner and Jake Baker. Hey, Jake, this is Bryce in the booth. Got a copy, man?
Yeah, I do. How's it going, Bryce?
And so you come home with the win. You qualified 14th. What was going through your head those last, 2 laps? Or really, let's go, I think it was 4 laps. Somebody blew up, and then you come flying up through there, But what was going through your head the whole entire time? You see God knows what happening around you.
Yeah, it kind of started, dude. It honestly started on like 20 to go, man. I had an EOL. I had to fall back to the end of the line, and I just pushed my way through the field as fast as I could. That breakdown kind of helped. It helped me get my head on straight. But man, yeah, like right at the end there, Andrew was pushing me like I don't know. I think it was the last, I don't know, 2. It was like 2 to go. Andrew was pushing me all around the track. I thought I was gonna have an easy win there. I thought he was just gonna push me the whole way, first and second. And he ended up going around me and brought the whole field with him. And I just got lucky, and I was able to take him on the inside of that turn 2 on the final lap. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what place I'd be in.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it it wasn't. It was weird there at the end. I thought somebody ran out of fuel, but that's when they exploded, and I was like, that's weird. But what was going through your head coming out really of three or not three of four, because you got a massive shove there from Andrew. I mean, he was hooked up to your bumper and shoving you as hard as he could.
Yeah, I mean, once I, by the time I hit turn 4, I pretty much felt I had it. I mean, it was a little sketchy going into turn 3, right? I was a little like, okay, I don't know if I have the run that I think I do. But once I got into turn 4, buddy, it was on. I knew I was going to be first, and I assumed Andrew second because we had a hell of a run, which is crazy because there was like 4 cars. There was like 4 cars deep on the outside lane. I'm surprised that we were able to outrun them like that.
And so, how was the racing from your point of view? Because it didn't seem like it was that bad. We had a lot of green flag runs. A couple of guys decided to try to pull a Ryan Preece and send their car upside down half the time. But how was the racing from your point? Because we did have green flag runs, and then when there were wrecks, they were decently big, but we had a lot of runs here tonight that stayed green compared to other nights we've had.
Yeah, tonight was really good. I had a really good race tonight. I can't complain about it. Yeah, there were some cautions, and actually, I was the cause of one of those cautions. I kind of went up to the high side there and cut someone off, and then it ended up causing a pile up. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good race tonight. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Obviously, being finally getting a first place feels really good too. So.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, I'll just shout out my team, Caboose Racing, Baker Custom Designs. They do custom paint and that sort of thing for different leagues. And then shout out to my wife for watching the kids and allowing me to do these racing events. That's yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go, but good job coming home with the win tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
That was Jake Baker, the race winner. I'll go over the finishing order now. Jake, I almost said Rake Baker. Jake Baker, third. Andrew Teff, second. Truth Hogue, third. Fourth, Sean Burke. Fifth, Haas Beverly. Sixth, Aaron Marquis. Seventh, Eric Howard. I don't know why it says Lick Howard. Apparently, you can't put in an E anywhere. Eighth, Pete Pelini. Ninth, Troy Thomas. 10th, Frank Chavez. 11th, Andrew Schroeder. 12th, Chris Lawrence. 13th, Corey Wright. 14th, Donovan David. 15th, Trevor Fettig. 16th, Jack Kelly. 17th, Brandon Carguzian. 18th, Kyle Murray. 19th, Timothy Yisbrand. 20th, Steve Castle. 21st, Daniel Jackson. 22nd, Nathan Emerson. 23rd, Christopher Allen. 24th, Chris Goxol. 25th, Aaron Roth. 26th, Jake Hannon. 27th, Terry Fennell. 28th, Mark Beverly. Not a bad race overall. Or 28th, Mark Beverly, yes. Terry Fennell, 27th. Not a bad race overall. That's definitely a better race than, again, this league doesn't race bad at all, but there's been some issues with wrecks. Thinking they took away the fast repair, so that probably got rid of a couple of drivers that, even if it wasn't their fault, I'm just gonna leave it there. That was going down a bad hole. That was going down a really bad hole. So I'm not gonna dig it. I'm not gonna dig that hole any deeper. But I'm not gonna keep you all here any longer. I will let you all go.